Hey, welcome to the team. My name is Jamie Kuenzie, and I am one of your national marketing directors. If not, you're a national marketing director. And I just wanted to take a couple minutes just to share with you a little bit about the team that you're on and who I am and where we came from and where we're going. So I first heard about Juice Plus, back in 2003. I was 10, just kidding. I wish I was one of the kids that was on the Children's Health Study. My life would have looked drastically different than it ended up looking. And though I think that all of our past experiences kind of shape us for where we are today. So truly, I first heard about Juice Plus back in 2003. I was 25 years old at the time. I had been somebody who had always been a sick kiddo. At the age of 1, I was in oxygen tent, just struggled a lot with respiratory distress and asthma, allergies, those kind of things, and kind of grew up with pretty normal spring and fall, getting croup, having respiratory distress, having to go out with my mom in the middle of the night on the front porch to try to get some cool air to open my lungs, or turn the shower on with Vicks in order to try to breathe. Because back then, when I was little, moms didn't get home with the nebulizers and steroids like they do today. So we dealt with it as best we could at home. So just kind of thought the genetic hand I had been dealt was, this one with bad genetics for asthma and allergies. And so here I was. I had been a collegiate athlete. I had played soccer in college and was starting out my career. I think because of all of those medical things, I ended up in the health profession. I ended up in occupational therapy and had found my way to working in the nursing home setting. And, it was a really depressing setting for me to go every day in my 20s to a place that most people don't want to end the rest of their life. But again, I think that piece of the story for me was I was meant to be there to really see the pain and the lack of quality of life that there is if you don't take care of yourself, because mostly what I saw was chronic conditions. And we know that chronic conditions can be reversed and prevented by diet and lifestyle. And so, and I would say community and stress management. And so I found myself working in the nursing home setting. I was on 8 prescription medications. Again, thought it was the genetic card I had been dealt, mostly asthma and allergies. I was on birth control as a young 25-year-old, and I was on an anxiety med, and probably lots of different reasons. But, I had always worried about what the side effects and the contraindications would do with all of those meds that I was on, especially because in that setting, the more meds I saw my patients on, the worse their quality of life. And honestly, the thought process that went through my head were, how many meds am I going to be on in my lifetime? And what are the side effects and the contraindications? And I didn't yet have a family. And I worried, like, when I start to have a family, how is this going to affect me? Because infertility was kind of on the rise. And I was really concerned for myself about that, just because of the amount of drugs that I was putting in my body on a monthly basis. And so I had a dear sweet coworker who recommended Juice Plus to me. She was not a distributor. She just was somebody who had a great story. She was able to get off her asthma and allergy medicines within the first year of being on it. And after the first year, and she'd been on it for about 2 years at that point in time. Again, she was in her early 50s. I was 25. She was a mentor to me in my world. So I totally respected everything she had to say. And I wanted to try Juice Plus. And though, again, she was not a distributor, which probably made me want it more. And 25 years ago, it's not cool to Google Juice Plus, much less enter your credit card information online like it is today. So I was in this place of, like, I wanted this thing that she had and had great results. And the way she shared it to me, she said, Jamie, it's fruits and vegetables in a capsule. And that was the simplicity of it. I knew at 25, even as much of a health nut as I thought I was, I knew I was not getting the 7 to 13 recommended servings on a daily basis. I just wasn't, and definitely wasn't getting the variety and fresh. I'd get the canned stuff. I'd eat what I liked. I really didn't understand about eating what was in season and the whole eating what's more local to you. And again, just the quantity alone, 7 to 13 on a daily basis in favor of your vegetables, wasn't happening for me. So I knew I wanted what she had. And I was also a vitamin junkie. Like, I was on a whole bunch of other stuff because I knew my diet wasn't what it was. And I, at that age, was so impressionable, would just look at the magazines for the next fad that was going around. And I'm always open to trying different things in the, health and wellness and holistic arena. So you'll find that out about me. And so I think everything happens for a reason. And my sister had given me a call. She was actually making fun of her friend. And they'd been out at a bar one weekend. And her nurse friend says to her, Jess, I think I found something that can help your asthma and your allergies. It's called Juice Plus. And my sister said, whatever. But she picked up the phone to connect with me and just was razzing, her nurse friend, Brandy's trying to get me on some stuff called Juice Plus. I said, no, I've heard of it. Like, I want to get on it. And she said, well, call Brandy. So here I find a way to be able to order it. And I really did just pick up the phone to order Juice Plus from her. But she was smart enough to say these things to me on the phone. She said, Jamie, you have a big family. You like helping people. It's only $50 to share Juice Plus. Doesn't it make sense? Doesn't it make sense to offset your cost? And it did. Like, it was a complete no-brainer for me. And so really I initially said yes to offset my costs. Let me share my product story, and then I'll come back a little bit more to my business story. So the product story is, so then I got my own order, and I had been taking it consistently for about 2 months. And I went back to my hometown, and my little sister had asked me to go for a run. And I had tried to get into the Army at one point during therapy school, but I couldn't pass the PT test of running the mile without my inhaler. I had exercise-induced asthma as well and relied on that inhaler every practice, every game, every run, every exercise. So here I am, and I forgot my inhaler. I left it at the Lake of the Ozarks and where I'd been living. And I was able to run the entire time and never experienced any restriction in my breathing. And that was huge. Remember, I was the baby in the oxygen tent at 1 on inhaler since I was 5. And the only thing I changed, you guys, was Juice Plus. Like, were these fruits and veggies in a capsule. And it was the craziest thing. And I was excited, but I was also scared that it was too good to be true. So the longer I was on Juice Plus, the more benefit I saw. So I knew my coworker's story, that it was after a year she got off all her asthma and allergy meds. And so this wasn't going to be a quick fix. But here I am 2 months in, and I'm noticing my breath is better. Like, I can exercise and not have any restrictions. So by 6 months, you guys, of consistently taking Juice Plus, I was off all of my medications except the birth control, because I was not yet ready to have a family at that point in time. So fast forward, when I do get married and we start to have a family, I never took a prenatal. I only took Juice Plus. And you guys, I had 3 super healthy pregnancies, and those babies all came out so strong and so healthy. And I did a lot of other lifestyle things on top of that. So it wasn't just the capsules alone, right? The cool thing about Juice Plus is once you get it into your cells, it's a catalyst for change. And when you choose to continue to learn more, the more you know, the better you can do. And so I was making lifestyle changes all along the way up to having baby 1, baby 2, baby 3. And so my kids today, it's so crazy because I've been doing this a long time. As I'm recording this video, my kids are in 6th grade, 4th grade, and 1st grade. So 12, 10, and almost 12, 10, and 7. So they rarely get sick, you guys. And if they get sick, it lasts like a day and is so minor compared to anything else that's going around. And typically when they get sick, we can pinpoint it to man, we had too much sugar. Maybe we went to a birthday party or something like that, or it was a holiday, and, some other, maybe you're up too late and we weren't hydrating well. So we always look at lifestyle factors, and we're not perfect. We're not purists by any means. We just try to do the best we can. And I'm so grateful for this product. So the business for me, you guys, like I said, I was going every day to a place in my 20s that most people don't want to end the rest of their life. And it was a really depressing setting to be in, but I think it's what lit the fire under me to know I was made for more. I had this calling that I was made for more, and I didn't know what that looked like. I had this degree, and I felt like I was called to do something else, still in the health field. I just didn't know what it was. And so Brandy had invited me into sharing this with my family, my friends, and my coworkers, and it did make sense to me because a lot of my family had the same issues that I had. And so I said yes. And though the really big yes to me was, I envisioned for whatever reason, and I think we all are have different things laid on us, but I had the idea that I was just meant for more, and that I wanted to create not just a paycheck, but wealth. And I also wanted to have time freedom and flexibility. Like, my mom had stayed home with all 5 of us girls until we were in school, and then she was a teacher, so she was home nights and weekends and holidays and summers, and that wasn't what it looked like for me in the corporate world. And so I was drawn to be somebody who contributed at a high level, but I also wanted to have my time. So I wanted my cake and I wanted to eat it too. And so I said yes to sharing Juice Plus, and I went to a bigger event with complete strangers. I didn't know anybody. And it was there that I really got to see like the company I was a part of, the longevity and the stability of the company. I got to see the kind of people that were involved, and generally they were the best at what they did in their fields. And it lit my soul on fire. Like I knew I belonged here. So I encourage you to get to a bigger event as soon as you can. Because really like the product brought me in, the education just was icing on the cake, because I chose to participate in it, and the community just sealed the deal. And so I got that vision at my first big event, like, man, even if I hang in here, I set the bar kind of low. Even if it takes me 10 years to become the top of this company, I've never heard of a therapist retiring in their 30s, right? Like I just knew I wanted to be a more of a present mom. And this was the only vehicle that my husband and I really truly had for me to be able to do that. And so, I went to work. I, worked on top of my full-time job, and I built this just sharing my story and sharing fruits and vegetables in a capsule, like one by one by one by one, or in groups, like getting uncomfortable and getting those, and just continuing to like keep my eye focused on where it was that I wanted this business to take me. And so it did take me 10 years to get to national marketing director at the top of this company. But if I would have stayed the same path for those same 10 years, I would have been in a completely miserable place, not living my purpose. And so I was able to achieve national marketing director and beyond. I was able to, all along that journey, go from full-time to part-time to PRN to completely step away. Now, not everybody wants to step away from their profession. It is just what I felt called to do. Many people use this as a so that vehicle. And what I mean by that is they build this Juice Plus income so that they can do something else. So they can do that passion project. So they can, be a CrossFit coach. They don't get paid a ton of money. So they can be a sports coach. They don't get paid a ton of money. So that they can do this passion. They have this income coming in that allows them to step back from maybe something that's not as fulfilling to them in order to do this other thing, other calling. Or maybe, somebody who might be like a chiropractor in private practice. Maybe it like lessens their load for like covering their overhead every month, so they can actually do quality care instead of quantity, those kind of things. So much is available, and I'm so grateful that you said yes. And now you know a little bit more of my story, but I'm so excited for the future. I'm more excited today than I ever was back in 2003, and it just keeps getting better and better. And I hope you plug into the resources that you guys have. Be teachable. There is a Start Strong Zoom that takes place every Monday. Please plug into that. You don't have to plug into it every Monday night, but do it at least once, maybe once a month for your first couple of months, because you're going to continue to hear things differently. And there is a different group of people who host it each Monday. So you're going to hear different versions of that based on their own experience, all really valuable stuff. And number 2, we have our team Zoom that takes place every Monday night. Plug into that. This is a community where you're going to get to know your sideline people, where you're going to hear somebody's story and think, man, if he or she can do it, I can do it too. Oh, she did that, he did that, I like that, I could do that. So you're going to be gifted a lot of like just tools and tips and tricks, and the community is just second to none. So thank you for taking the time to watch this. It's so nice to meet you, and I can't wait to meet you either over a Zoom or over Voxer or over the phone sometime very soon, or in person hopefully. All right, bye.